Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, and I'm so excited to have you here in the Brain Core family and teaming up with me and my Neurofeedback Expert program to help you build and sustain a thriving neurofeedback practice quickly. Okay, so this is the introduction to, let me share my screen here so that you can see it. Okay. Now you can see my slides. This is the introduction to the 7 powerful steps for success as a neurofeedback expert. And again, this is brought to you through Brain Core Neurofeedback and me, Dr. Trish Leigh, and my Neurofeedback Expert program, because we are teaming up to make your practice so successful quickly. Okay, so let's dive right in. In this short course, you will be able to move through these 7 steps very quickly, and they are jam-packed with tons of very useful and awesome information that is going to help you be successful quickly. So without further ado, let's begin by contemplating the idea that what is a neurofeedback expert? And clearly this is an important idea for me, because I've created a program called Neurofeedback Experts. And it's important because I am on a mission to make sure that all Brain Core offices feel like they are operating at expert level. And what that means is expert level clinical care and expert level business model. So the what and how, the what is you are a strong clinician built on neuroscience and neuroplasticity, and we're going to talk a bit about that, and just a smart business person so you can engage your people in care that feels great to them, but most importantly provides the outcomes that they're looking for. So how are we going to do that? We are going to do that by making sure that you have top-level clinical skills. And the first premise for you to begin practicing right away is healer, heal thyself. So what does that mean? It was from the Latin of Medici, from Luke 4:23 in the Bible, actually. And what it means is physician, heal thyself is the actual phrase, cura te ipsum. And it means start using neurofeedback yourself. I am always shocked when I work with professionals who are running neurofeedback practices that never use neurofeedback. So first and foremost, you are now the proud owner of what I consider to be the most awesome technology to help people not only with their cognitive difficulties, their psychological challenges, and their physical impairments, but just to be a peak performer and to feel well. So you have that technology at your fingertips, start using it. First of all, it's going to be a game changer in your mental capacity to take your new neurofeedback system and monetize it and help the people in your community and humankind, if I can go that far. But at the same time, you will have the experience that your patients are going to be having. Very powerful when you can anecdotally speak about the changes that you feel in your own demeanor and your own state. And especially if you haven't served many people using neurofeedback, it gives you a talking point with your new patients so that you can say, yeah, I do neurofeedback and this is what happens. And I still tell my patients and I tell lots of people about my neurofeedback experiences because I consistently use neurofeedback, and I encourage you to not only get started, but to stay consistent. Also, you are going to gain top-level clinical skills by practice and contemplation. So if you do not have an operating office using neurofeedback yet, start offering neurofeedback to anybody you can get your mitts on. Usually that's family members or friends. So my husband is a chiropractor. I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I have what I call a PhD and a half because I was able to only need to do one dissertation. One's enough, trust me. But I have PhD training in two areas. One is communication and cognitive development across the lifespan, and the other is cognitive science. So I've spent my professional career thinking about brains and how brain functioning plays out in behaviors of the mind and body. Secondarily, my husband is a chiropractor, so he's spent his professional career thinking about nervous system function and how that can be improved to help people feel and perform better. Personally, we own 6 children. We have 3 boys and 3 girls. And ironically, or probably not so ironically, we both come from big Irish families of 3 boys and 3 girls. But I mention that because we spend a lot of our time self-regulating ourselves, as you can imagine, and we spend a lot of time growing 6 brains into the best version of themselves. And I will tell you, all of our children use neurofeedback as well. And most of them, we have a couple of young ones, but most of them really like it and put themselves on as they feel they need it or just preventively. So it's pretty cool. But my point about that is when I first started using neurofeedback clinically, I had those 6 little munchkins to make them go on neurofeedback so that I could practice my skills. And I would practice my skills with anybody that I could get to sit down for a neurofeedback session. What that allowed me to do is not only get really good at the technical aspect of putting people on and off and learn tricks of the trade that make it really easy and effective to put people on and get them off quickly, but also I was able to start analyzing people's trend graphs and getting a sense for different people's brains and how they're functioning, different people's response to training, all things we're going to talk about in later lessons. But practice, practice, practice. Practice on yourself, practice on people you know. And another way that you can become a neurofeedback expert and just sit tall and confidently look people in the eyes, sell them high-end neurofeedback packages, and then deliver the goods, the outcomes that they're looking for, is through the science. Now, my background, having training in 2 PhD areas, makes me a scientist. I've always loved the scientific aspect of clinical practice, but it really was important for me because I know a lot of the science out there, and I'm always happy to share it with people. I know most of it off the top of my head. But once you know that there are studies, evidence that supports the efficacy of neurofeedback for all of these different conditions, it's a game changer in how you feel. Your confidence goes through the roof. And you'll hear me talk about my Neurofeedback Expert program is confidence and communication. And knowing the science, or at least a little bit of it, really can be a game changer for you. So dig into the science a little, get your mitts on what's important to you to get started. And once you know, yeah, there's a neurofeedback study for that, it really makes you more confident. Another way that you become a neurofeedback expert is by having really tight office processes and procedures. And I'm going to begin to help you think about how to get that going in this short course. Marketing, advertising, and what I consider to be the most important, community awareness. And we're going to talk about this in later lessons. And what that means is you're going to have office systems that flow like Starbucks. Everybody knows that people will drive past 15 other coffee shops to get to Starbucks and pay 4 times the amount they would have at any of those other coffee shops. Am I right? I do it, I know that. So why? Because we know we're gonna get a great cup of coffee and we know we're gonna have a very pleasant experience in a really nice environment. So I'm willing to make the drive and I'm willing to pay. And we want your office to be the same way. We want people to pass by other neurofeedback offices or practices and other professionals just in general and come right to you so you can serve them and serve them well. Okay, so stay tuned. The lessons are short, they're jam-packed, there's downloadables in each lesson to have you begin thinking in this arena, and then I actually share some of the materials that I use in my Neurofeedback Expert program so you can get started here in this short course. short course. Let me tell you one more thing about my Neurofeedback Expert program before we get rolling. If you want more information about it, it's at drtrishleigh.com. I offer a few different services. I offer a large course, which has everything that you need. It's basically a practice in a box, all the paperwork you need, all the knowledge you need, all the materials you need to really just hit the ground running. All the information is there at drtrishleigh.com. I also offer monthly group coaching for niche clientele. And I also, it's not on the website, I offer weekly coaching for people who are interested in really learning how to analyze the QEEG brain maps and the trend graphs. So go to drtrishleigh.com and check it out. Okay, I can't wait to share these lessons with you because it's really important to me, and I hope it becomes really important to you because our communities need neurofeedback. If you look at the stats, they're shocking and disgusting, frankly, and people struggling with challenges of all shapes and sizes that neurofeedback can really help them back themselves out of. Okay, so stay tuned. Move on to lesson 1, and I'll see you then.